November 19. Felix and his wife. Siki, this comes from Acts 24. 5 days passed. Then the Jewish leaders from Jerusalem came to Caesarea. They brought a lawyer with them. They went to the governor Felix. He called for Paul.
Oh my goodness.
The lawyer told Felix what they blamed Paul for doing. We've had peace for a long time, he said. You have ruled us well. You have brought good things to this nation. We are very thankful to you. Now, we don't want to bother you, so we'll make this quick. This man makes trouble, said the lawyer. He gets crowds of Jewish people into a panic. He does this all over the world. He is a leader of a group that makes trouble. He even treats the worship house as if it were nothing. So we have tried to stop him. Ask him about it yourself. You'll find out that we're telling the truth. The Jewish people agreed with the lawyer. They said it was true. Felix held his hand out towards Paul. That showed it was Paul's turn. What did Felix do to Paul?
It was his turn.
Okay, he held his hand out, said it was his turn. Okay, so where's Paul at right now? What city?
What does it start?
See.
See?
Remember, they were in Jerusalem and they sent Paul to Governor Felix. What city is Governor Felix in?
And then what does it end?
Rhea. Okay? Listen, pay attention. I didn't tell you today. I was hoping you'd remember from yesterday. Okay? Caesarea. Okay? Remember yesterday we read about the secret plan. Okay? Hey, secret plan because they're trying to kill Paul. So, who was it? The leader in Jerusalem. He said, hey, I'm going to send some guards, send Paul to Caesarea with Governor Felix. Okay? So Paul's sitting right now and he's talking to Governor Felix, Ezekiel. Okay? And this is what's going on. And the lawyer who's with those foolish people, he just said his case. He said, yeah, this man is causing trouble for our nation. And then Governor Felix said, Paul, it's your turn. You can speak. The Jewish people agreed with the lawyer. They said it was true. Okay? Wait. Here we go. Felix held his hand out towards Paul. That showed it was Paul's turn. Paul said, you've judged this nation for many years, so I'm glad to speak to you. It was just 12 days ago that I went to Jerusalem to worship. You can ask around. You'll find that this is true. I didn't make a fuss at the worship house, said Paul. I didn't gather a crowd anywhere in the city. These men can't show that you have anything that they say is true. Here's what is true, said Paul. I worship God. I'm a follower of Jesus. I believe the law and the prophets. I hope in God, just like these men do. I believe the dead will come back to life again. Both good people and bad people will come back to life. So I try to make sure I'm always doing what's right. I was away from Jerusalem for many years, said Paul. I came back to bring gifts for poor people. I came back to give my offerings. I was doing all this in the right way. There wasn't a crowd with me. I did not start a panic. What did Paul say he was doing in Jerusalem?
He wasn't starting a panic.
And what did he do for the poor people?
He helped them.
Yeah, he gave them gifts. Paul said he didn't start a panic. Instead, Paul said some Jews from Asia were there to start trouble. They are the ones. There were some Jews from Asia, Paul said, who are starting trouble in Jerusalem. Paul said they're the ones who should be here today. They should say why they blame me. If they don't, the people here should tell what they found out. There was one thing that they did. There was one thing that did upset them, said Paul. I told them why I was there. It's because I believe the dead will live again someday. Felix knew a lot about Jesus and his followers. So he sent everyone away. He said, the captain who wrote to me will come. Then I'll choose what to do with you. Felix ordered the guard to watch Paul. But Felix said to let Paul have some freedom. Felix said Paul's friends could bring him whatever he needed. A few days passed. Then Felix asked Paul to come see him again. Felix's wife, Drusilla, was with him. What's the name of Felix's wife, Ezekiel?
Drusilla.
Excellent. She was Jewish. She and Felix listened to Paul. What was the ethnicity of Felix's wife, Ezekiel?
She listened to Paul.
No, what was her ethnicity, her religion? What was her name again? The name of Felix's wife, son. Starts with a D.
And then what does it add?
Siki, you just said it, didn't you? Felix's wife is Drusilla. Was Drusilla Jewish? Yeah, she was. It says Felix's wife was Jewish. What was her name? Drusilla. Drusilla was Jewish. Paul talked to them about believing in Jesus. Paul talked about how to be right with God. He talked about self-control. He talked about how God would judge people someday. Who's Paul talking to?
Drusilla.
Okay. Paul's there. He's meeting before Felix. Okay. Those foolish leaders from Jerusalem, they sent him there to Governor Felix. Okay. Governor Felix is listening. Paul's talking to Felix and everyone there. Paul said God would judge people someday. Felix felt afraid. That's enough, he said. Leave for now. I'll ask you to come back again another time. Felix hoped Paul would pay him money to be set free. So he often called Paul to come talk with him. 2 years went by. A new governor came. He took the place of Felix. His name was Festus. What happened after 2 years, Ezekiel?
His name was Felix.
Festus. Who was Festus?
The one until 2 years. 2 years.
After 2 years, Festus came. Whose job did Festus take over?
Paul.
No. What was the job of Festus?
To go there.
What was the job of Felix, Siki?
Who's Felix?
Siki, Felix is the man, is the governor. Okay? He's the governor in Caesarea. That's the governor. That's the leader. The man they sent to judge Paul. Okay? Who's Felix?
Felix is to judge Paul.
He's a governor, son.
He's a governor.
He's a governor. Who's Felix's wife?
The zero.
Drusilla.
Drusilla.
Okay. After 2 years, what happened?
The captain.
No, there's no captain, son. Festus. Festus took over someone's job. Whose job did Festus take over?
Felix.
Outstanding answer, son. Outstanding answer. So who's the governor now after 2 years? You just said it.
It is
Felix is no more. Okay, he left. Who's the new governor? You just said it.
No
son.
captain, right?
There's no captain, son. Come on. Festus, son. Festus. Who's the old governor?
Felix.
Who's the wifey of the old governor? Drusilla. Who's the new governor?
Who's the new governor?
The new governor. Yeah, why don't you look so it's in your mind?
Festus.
Who's the old governor?
Felix.
Who's the wifey of the old governor?
Drusilla.
Who's the new governor?
Festus.
How long was Paul in Caesarea before the new governor came?
Caesarea.
Remember, he was sent to Caesarea to be judged by Felix, and then they kept him there for how long? And then
6 months. 2 months.
2 what?
2 years.
2 years, son. He was there 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, waiting. Felix was hoping, hey, maybe this man will pay me to be set free, but he never did. Okay? 2 years went by, a new governor came. He took the place of Felix. His name was Festus. Felix wanted to do the Jews a favor, so he left Paul in the jail. So for 2 years, Paul was in the jail because Felix was doing the Jews a favor. Paul was a Roman citizen. All he had to do is pay Felix, and he would have been set free. Okay? But Paul never paid him. Then Felix would have had an excuse to give the Jewish people, like, oh yeah, he's a Roman citizen, he paid me, I had to set him free. Paul never paid him, so Paul just sat there in the jail for 2 years. And then a new governor came. His name was Festus. Okay? That's it. That's the end of that section.